Hello everybody, welcome to Susan's Craft Cabin. Today I am going to start video 1 of my series of how to make a lampshade totally from scratch using a metal frame and fabric and beading and all those sorts of lovely things that go into making a Victorian or period style lampshade. The first thing you're going to need is your frame. And this is the frame I'm going to use to make this particular lampshade. The first video will be showing you exactly what you need to make a lampshade. Measurements will vary because everybody's going to have a different shade frame to use, so you'll have to work out your own measurements on the whole, but I can give you an overall overview on what you need. But I'll give you links to where you can buy everything in the UK anyway. And I'd like to give a big shout out to a wonderful company in the UK which is called Candela Lighting, and part of that is Homemaking Heaven. Homemaking Heaven, I'll put their link on the bottom, and those of you in the UK who want to make one can go to Homemaking Heaven and buy one of these frames. So the first thing you're going to need is a piece of paper and a pencil in order to write all of this down. You're going to need a frame. You're going to need some cotton binding tape. It's just strong cotton binding tape, or you can use buyer's binding, either way will do, but you'll need a good amount, and this is for binding the frame. You're going to need some double-sided sticky tape. This is double-sided lampshade tape, but sellotape will do. You're going to need a needle with a big eye and some very strong thread, because this thread needs to be strong enough so that when you pull it doesn't break. The next thing you're going to need some pins, Dressmaker's pins, and I found this little gadget which is a magnet useful for your pins because they don't fall off. And of course you're going to need some fabric. I'm going to use this lovely parrot fabric which I've used before. It's great, it's easy, it's cotton, and I advise using, for the purpose of this tutorial, using a cotton fabric. It's the easiest fabric to use. And then once you've used this and you've learnt how to use cotton, you can move on to more elaborate fabrics. Once the shade is complete, you will need to decorate it. That's the fancy bit. For decoration you can use all sorts of braids, fringing, beading, lovely beading, anything you like, flowers, dried flowers, silk flowers, anything you like. But the basic decoration that I'm going to use is braid, fringing, and I'm also going to use some beading. To find out how much beading and braid you need, once you have your frame, for the braid, measure where you want to put your braid. Maybe you want to put some around the top and around the bottom. So measure around the bottom, measure around the top, add those two numbers together, and that will give you the amount of braid to decorate those two parts of the shade. But I would always allow a little bit extra just in case. The same principle applies to the beading and the fringing. Again, measure the parts of the shade where you want to put this, and simply by the amount that you need to decorate your frame. And as far as fabric goes, I allow between 1/2 metre and 1 metre for the smaller frames, because it depends on whether you're using a fabric with print or a fabric with that's plain. If it's a printed fabric with large prints, you're going to need more. But as a point in principle, 1/2 metre for a 14-inch frame, and more obviously if you're making a larger frame. So you will need also a glue gun, some glue sticks and a sewing machine. So next few days, gather all of these bits and pieces together. You need to find a frame first because everything revolves around there. You may want to decide what kind of fabric you're going to use, or you might have some in the house that you can use just to play with. So over the next few days, collect all your bits and pieces, and if you subscribe to my channel, you'll be notified by YouTube when my next video comes up, and that can be the start of your learning how to make a lampshade. Thank you for watching. I'll put all the details underneath and I'll see you later.